with it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good evening. Okay, welcome to the Town of Colmar Manor Town Meeting. I'd like to see if there's a motion for us to start the meeting.
I'll make a motion to begin the meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. It is now 7 o'clock, and this meeting is now in session. Okay, to start out the meeting, the first thing we're going to do is pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, with a Happy New Year, I'd like us to take a moment of silence to think of those who are shut in, those who serve us, those who are out to protect us, and all those that are handling hardship. Okay. I'd now like to take a moment of silence for us to rejoice in all the blessings that we have and all the things, our loved ones and those that we have with us, and all the breath that we have. All right. Thank you. Amen. Okay, so, and getting started with the meeting, I'll first check to find out, do we have any additions for this, does anybody recommend any additions for this particular agenda?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
Okay, with no additions, I'll start out with the mayor's report. Again, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season and was able to enjoy friends and family. And so I want to thank the staff for all the wonderful things that we have going on. I want to thank Doretha Epps, who's here in the audience, for the Christmas Day dinner, which was absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. It was a really enjoyable event, and if anybody in the future would like to come out on that day, it's a great day for those with hardship to have a family, which is us, Colmar Manor. And they were playing movies in the outreach room, and unfortunately, I failed to get the football game on, but I told them that next year we'd practice beforehand and have a football game planned for them. So that was a really wonderful event. We also had our holiday bash here, which was absolutely amazing. The place was packed, full of young people and older people, and a diversity in the room. It was a really, really beautiful event, just like the Harvest Fest was. I'm so happy that folks are starting to come out here and really enjoy this community and this community center. I also want to say the mayors, meetings I've attended. You know, I have the Mayors Association, for which I'm the secretary, the Maryland Black Mayors meeting, which I was elected on to their executive board, to the board. We voted after our last meeting on an alcohol policy. We had a wonderful staff luncheon, which was really good for camaraderie and coming together, and I thank everybody for participating in their Secret Santa, and we had a really good time. I feel like I did. You know, so I had a really great time. I also attended, and then not so happy thing, but Roger Heights hosted a gang awareness meeting, and the chief might want to add to it as well, because he was also there in attendance. And it was pretty shocking, some of the information that we found about young people who are concerned for their safety, who have gang members in their families. They did a survey of the young kids, and they found that a lot of young people have been concerned about their own surroundings. And we spoke of and talked about different things that we might try in order to help provide some sensitivity and help to these young people. Apparently, they're recruiting as early as the 4th grade. And so anything that we can start to do in order to make this better. I just urge people in the community to really come out and participate in the things that we have, whether it's the Green Team or the Garden Club, or if you want to create your own club of some sort, because when people are more involved and more engaged in activities, it helps build and bound the community together. I also attended the 47th District Toy Drive, which was awesome. The amount of toys that were bought in that evening for kids, some kids who would not normally be able to get a gift to have a gift, is pretty amazing. And so we look forward to that going on. If we didn't mention this, but we have also sent over, we have intentions on purchasing the land next to the KFC. And so we did some additional work towards making that happen. And, you know, hopefully we'll be prepared by February that'll be done. I want to say happy birthday to Councilmember Mendoza, whose birthday will be Saturday.
Saturday.
So happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And I don't know, I think we missed the chief's birthday was last month, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
There you go.
so happy birthday to the chief. His birthday, and your birthday
Last month.
was last month, Councilmember Blue's birthday as well. So happy birthday to everybody.
Thank you.
And so one of the things I want to say personally, the contact sheets requests that we sent out to you all, I think in October, probably is sitting on your mail. For some of you, I appreciate for all of you who have sent yours in. But I really want to urge you all to send in your contact sheets. Those contact sheets is the first most important project in order for us to go to another level. And there's several reasons for the contact sheets. One, I'll give you an example. Just last week, there was someone's water pipes burst in their house, and they were not home. And we found out that the water pipes were burst, and the first thing the sergeant did was to call us to see if we had the contact sheet for that person so that we would be able to contact them. We did not have the contact sheet. And so we called the fire department. The fire department cut the water off, and which we would have done anyway, but there was risk of the fire department having to enter the house if they were not able to do something from the outside. But if we were able to contact those people, we don't know what happened inside their house. So we don't know how much damage has been caused, and by us not being able to reach them, that could have been sort of caught sooner than later. Another example is a couple of years ago, we had a resident who got sick at church. Everybody knew this resident, but nobody knew the resident's family. And so there was no way to contact someone to say, hey, your family member is sick. Another example was we have lots of contractors that live in town, and they're always saying, well, how would we go about knowing if you guys have work that needs to be done, or something that, you know, in this building or on the streets or abatements or whatever? And I said, you send in your contact sheet, because if we have the contact information for people, then we can send out this information to you readily. Sending you something that says resident in the mail has not been working in communicating with you. So I just want to strongly urge everyone to fill out that contact sheet. But one of the other things that I learned while I had this contact sheet, when I was going through it, is that for the number of people who actually did turn in their contact sheets, there is a significant number of owner-occupied households who have not applied for their homestead tax credit. And this can range from, $300 to $1,200, depending on how much your tax assessment is and how much your taxes have gone up. This is a 3-year tax assessment year. Most of you probably got your assessments in the mail, and a lot of our assessments have gone up considerably. So this would definitely be this year starting July 1st, 2018, where you would want to be able to get your homestead tax credit. So I urge you, if you have not, we have the forms up here. You can come up here, get a form for your homestead tax credit, and if you haven't filled out your contact form, you can fill that out at this time as well. So I just want to say that I think that there's thousands of dollars out there for our homeowners here to get their homestead tax credits. So please come up and get a form if you need be in order to move that forward. And with that, I will end my mayor's report. I will go on to the council reports. Ward 1, Councilmember Blue.
Good evening. Happy New Year's to all. Ward 1 looked really beautiful with your Christmas holiday decorations, and Santa was here in town and really loved it. I've noticed that we've been having families doing a little bit of home repairs. Please call the town hall for your permit. Also, check your smoke detectors and make sure you don't have a lot of cords and this and that crossing up. Check on your neighbors. And I want to say happy birthday to my granddaughter, Erica, and all the other January birthday people. And get well, and thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, Ward 2 is absent, and before we can move forward, for a legitimate reason at work. So is there somebody who would like to make a motion for us to excuse Councilmember Bowden?
Yes, I'll make that motion stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Councilmember Bowden. Okay, Mayor Pro Temp Jackson.
Good evening. I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I look forward to serving you again in 2018 as your Ward 3 council person. Please, this is a time of year in 2008, we have a lot of elections coming up. So you're probably having people door knocking, calling you. Just please try to read the literature that you receive, and also try to go to some of their listing things. A lot of them have like community outreach events. So if you can try to go so you can decide who you want to vote for in 2018. Also, one of our neighbors, Brentwood, had a disturbing domestic dispute altercation over the holidays, and just wanted to let people know that Prince George's County now there's a grant fund, because a lot of people stay in domestic abuse situations because they have nowhere to go. But Prince George's County do have a grant fund that's available for people if they want to get out, and I think the chief probably knows a little bit more about that. Mm-hmm. And also, just want to say Happy New Year again. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Mendoza.
Good evening. Happy New Year's to all in Colmar Manor. I just wanted to first and foremost wish, because it's National Law Enforcement Day, we're very lucky on the home front that we have a good team. We have our Chief Lowry, thank you, and Chief Tracy Stone and Officer Mary. I've noticed that, okay, aside from Happy Law Enforcement Day, I've noticed that there's some confusion with the trash pickup. So if it falls on a holiday, to just put your trash out the next day and it will get picked up, because I've had questions about that. And overall, that's it. Happy New Year's to all. Thank you.
All right. I thank you again, all council members. I'll also mention that we did put the notice out, basically letting everybody know of what the trash cycle would be. But again, we don't have everybody's email, so send in your contact sheets, and that way you'll be able to know what's going on and what's happening and what would happen. I want to quickly, before we move forward, is to go ahead and just let you guys know kind of things that are going on. If you don't know, I want to make sure you know we have Zumba classes here on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7:15 to 8:15 p.m. On Saturdays from 9:30 to 10:30 for Zumba. It's $6 a class, and I think it's $20 for 4 if you buy them in a package. There is Breeze Country hand dancing here on Wednesdays from 6 to 10, and that's $10 for entry. A wonderful event. Colmar Manor Senior Club, every first and third Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you would like to ride the bus, please just call in and reserve getting a pickup for the bus to come to the senior club. There's a recreation meeting on the first Monday at 6 p.m. Green Team meeting every second Monday at 7 p.m. Town work session every first Tuesday at 7 p.m. The town general session is every second Tuesday at 7 p.m. The garden club meeting is every third Saturday at 9 a.m. 10 a.m.?
10.
Oh, 10 to 12, okay. Neighborhood watch meeting is every third Thursday at 6:30 p.m. We have open gym Mondays and Wednesdays from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. We had 40 people down in the gym yesterday.
That's
Pretty impressive. We have fitness equipment that's available from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. There is co-ed volleyball, which is our volleyball volunteers. I'm sure they'll be happy to have you join them from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Fridays. And the fitness boot camp is Monday, Wednesdays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. You should call for more information as the boot camp for January will be starting soon. I think it's next week.
Yeah, I think
So if you're interested in being in that session. For our other activities coming on this year, on February 17th, we'll have our Black History Month celebration. On March 31st, we'll have our Easter egg hunt. On May 5th, we have a Cinco de Mayo. On September the 22nd is Colmar Manor Day. The Harvest Fest is October the 27th. The Seniors Thanksgiving Luncheon will be November the 15th. The Senior Christmas Luncheon will be December the 13th. And our holiday party will be December the 15th. Now, I'm also trying to have a spaghetti dinner hardship fundraiser to assist people with their utilities. And I would be happy. I'm thinking of doing this towards the end of February. So if anybody is interested in working with me on this project, please call the town hall and let me know you're interested in working on this project so that we can help people as the winter rolls down and utility companies tend to come and get you after the summer starts if you haven't been able to take care of your bills. So I want to try to get that done as well. Councilmember Mendoza is also trying to schedule an international event so that we can show pride in our international diversity in the community. And so we had planned for it in January, but not quite made that date. But also, if you guys, anybody out there that's interested in working with her on that project, please, again, call the town hall so that we can help in that way. Okay, let me give you a report on the work session. Work session was held Tuesday, January the 2nd. We had a visitor from the American Legion, Dan Orberian, and we are, or Dane, I think it was Dane. We are trying to, well, anyway, the American Legion are concerned about their viability to stay in the facility, and we wanted to get an update as to where they are currently. So they are looking at assessments and ways that they can actually partner with another American Legion or so forth. And so basically, we spoke to them in terms of what would happen to the space and our interest in purchasing the space if they were going to leave, so that we would be able to manage what happens to that space. So we're going to stay in contact with them to see where we want it, what's going to happen next. We talked more about the Colmar Manor car registration. If you got the mailing back in October, which indicated that we were going to be starting to do this, we had a meeting separately about the car registration. We are planning to start in Ward 4. And we'll be putting out some information. Right now, we've made some adjustments to the ordinance for the car registration, and therefore, the posting We will likely have a public hearing before our next town meeting in February for particularly Ward 4, as is required in the current ordinance, and then make the purchase for the parking stickers. The bottom line is, please, at this time, if your car is not registered to the town of Colmar Manor, you need to contact the MVA, get your registration changed to Colmar Manor. You do not have to go to the MVA. You can do it online. You can do it on phone. It's free. They'll send you a card that says it's been changed. When you go to register your vehicle the next time or get your driver's license the next time, they will actually change it on the card, on the actual registration or your license at that time. But just by contacting them to change the address does not cost anything, but it could be revenue to the town in that. And secondly, it can ensure us that the people who are parking on our streets, particularly overnight, are residents of the community. So we look forward to moving forward with that project. The kitchen cabinets, we were discussing purchasing some kitchen cabinets that had locks on them in place of the shelves that are in the kitchen, and we opted to put that on hold for some other arrangements, so we won't be making that purchase at this time. Disposable of the kitchen shelves, well, because we're not buying the kitchen cabinets, we're also not going to dispose of the shelves, so we did not decide to dispose of the shelves. Disposal of the plate warmers. Now, there's plate warmers that we have which have not been used. They've not been used in 7 years, and so we did vote to dispose of the plate warmers. We discussed the mayoral election. There will be an election on May 1st for the office of mayor in the town of Colmar Manor. And we discussed the election judges. I didn't write the names down here, but you can call in at any time. You have the names?
No, I don't have the name, but they're the same three that was our judge.
Oh, for the council seats.
Yes, for the council seats.
Okay. The petitions will be due April 2nd, and information about the election will be available around about February the 15th. And so we'll move forward, and you'll have the information on the age is 30 years old. You have to get 10 signatures and be a resident of the town for up to a year. Okay, so we followed up update on the Bladensburg Road church property. I had met with the church owners to discuss their intentions, and so it was a very positive meeting. We feel that some of the things that they're going to be doing is going to be beneficial to the town as they move forward. And I look forward to some of the recommendations that they've made for the property, which will assist us in maintaining some revenue from that property. The status of the Port Town CDC property, as I spoke to you, we're getting an appraisal on the property right now. We expect to have that appraisal by mid-month, and at that point, we can move forward on that purchase. We discussed snow removal plans and how we'll communicate when there is a snow event. In conversations with the Chief Stone from Bladensburg, who the dispatchers typically are the ones that communicate to the public works to come out when there's a snow event, and so we've requested their assistance in also dispatching to our public works when there is a snow or ice event, so that they can then come out and operate, and then so that we have plans, and also communicate with the chief. And if you've had any more conversation with Chief Stone about it, then we can. Okay, so then we can mention what you guys have talked about. The Port Town CDC bus use, Councilmember Jackson asked about the Port Town CDC using the bus in order to introduce the new board members to the Port Towns community, and I think, which is a great idea, considering that I learned my community by that bus tour, which really totally connected me to the community. So we look forward to them doing that, although I recommended that they do it more in the springtime when they can actually take a boat ride, because the boat ride down the river is also a valuable part of the tour. and really getting to know the community really well. And even being able to get off the bus and walk here and there is really important. Mr. Baden added to the agenda legal bills. So we have discussed the cost of some additional bills that have to be paid for personnel matter that are coming from Mr. Barr, for Mr. Barr's participation in this matter, and will require a transfer of funds at the next work session in order to continue to pay the base, what we owe in the bill. So we'll have to be transferring some funds from reserve because this was an unexpected set of bills related to a personnel matter. And that's the work session. Did I miss anything? Okay. Moving forward. Oh, and we also, Councilmember Blue wasn't able to attend, and we excused Councilmember Blue from the meeting. All right. The next item is the treasurer's report. Are you doing that? Okay. Oh my God, I didn't bring my.
That's small.
Yes. It's just, oh wow.
You wanted to
Let's see how we're going to do this. Okay, so this is the treasurer's report as of December 31st, 2017. According to the treasurer's report, our total revenues for July through December is $955,000, $146.69. That is currently 36.25% of our expected budgeted revenue. A large portion of our budget will come in the month of January in the form of taxes, or February, which is collected twice a year by the county government. On the expenses, page 2, starting with general government expenditures. General government expenditures is $274,000, 507, which is 32.87% of what was being budgeted, which is significantly lower than the 50% you might expect. I'm just looking at 162. Okay. Oh, it's great. Less expenses. Our payroll under general government is $44,083.01. That's 47.74% of budget. That's in line with the budget. The senior band expenditures are $22,075.91. That's 49% on budget. Code enforcement is $21,802.57, which is 68%. That's weird. I check on that, that's high. Public Works is $114,206.14. That's 46% of budget, which is right on target. The Community Center, Town Hall, Community Center is $46,293.47, and that's 45.56% of budget. Going good. Public Safety. Public Safety is $165,621, and that is 36.56% of budget. Okay, Chief. Good job. The chief budget is $4,816.67. Well, you just kind of got to put these two together. Well, that's 61.75%, which is fine because the two go together between the chief and the deduction. See that?
Yes, ma'am.
Deduction right there.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have the community center operations. That's $46,713. That's 63% of budget, and so a part of that is that we have an individual who is working half administration and half for recreation, and all of her charges were going to recreation, which caused the recreation to be at 63% of the budget, as opposed to 50%. However, The general budget is lower by about 16%. So this is where we're back and forth on that particular item. Overall, our total expenditures is $740,120 to $2 million budget with reserve. I can't give you a percentage because it's calculating without the reserve. But at any rate, for all the different line items and departments, that puts us all on budget at this point in time. From a balance sheet perspective, we have currently in our regular checking $57,900. We have accounts receivable for personal property taxes. That's the taxes to businesses of $27,725, which we will collect. Our other current assets, including our MLGIP investments fund, is $920,542.72, making our current assets $1,168,46. Other assets provided by loan is $2,626,000.49, 25. That would be this facility. Accounts payable, we have none, really. For current other liabilities, we have $20,469.84, which pretty much is basically a single payroll net for a payroll period. That's simply a payroll period. We have a bond payable to SunTrust for $2,626,059.25. Again, that's for this building. Our fund balance is $785,245. Our current income, that's net revenue less expenses, is $185,187 for the year. So currently our equity is $970,433.14. And that is the treasurer's report. Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make that motion to accept the treasurer's report for December 31st, 2017.
Is there a second?
Second as stated.
Okay, is there any discussion? I will just, as for the record, say that we need to make a transfer from administration and community center for the funds, for the payroll funds of that scenario. And we have, what other point did I want to make here? Oh, from the general, from recreation to the general fund. Want to take a closer look at on the code enforcement budget to see why we're
I
over?
think it's because of a payout, I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay, could probably. Okay, so put us over. That probably makes sense. And that's it. Okay. Oh, and we probably need to figure out how we can roll up the credit from Cottage City.
Yes, ma'am, because it doesn't reflect in there.
Yeah, we need to get somehow or another for the two to come together and give us a total.
Correct.
Yes, for public safety. Okay. And, okay, so, did I call for a vote?
No.
Oh, call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Absent.
Absent. Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. So this, the treasurer's report has been currently accepted. Okay, moving on to the police report.
All right,
Chief?
thank you, Mayor. Good evening, folks. Just a couple things I'd like to bring to your attention. We had a burglary in the Port Town Shopping Center of the Dollars and Cents about 1 o'clock in the morning. We looked at the CCTV images. Gentleman broke in and stole $20 worth of soap. We worked with the Prince George's County Police, and it resulted in an arrest. It turned out to be a homeless gentleman who had hit about 12 or 13 different businesses. Mm-hmm. So we're, again, we kind of worked with the Prince George's County Police on that, and they're also incorporating social services in with this gentleman. We had an auto theft shoplifter at the Shoppers Food Warehouse. We got a call for a shoplifter there. Police department responded, apprehended the individual. After investigation, we realized he drove up in a stolen motor vehicle. We searched the car, and there was stolen U.S. mail inside it, so we're working with the U.S. Postal Service on that particular case. We had a very quiet month as far as crime. I couldn't be more pleased with the community, the way that the folks are locking their cars, locking their businesses, locking their residents. We did have 2 thefts from autos in the 31 days. Both of those cars were unlocked, and both of those cars had property sitting in the front seat. So whenever you leave your car, and we say it every time, but just want to keep reiterating it, lock your car and either hide your valuables in your trunk or take them with you. Make sure you don't warm your car up in the morning. There's some frigid temperatures we've had. A lot of folks have a tendency to go out and put the keys in the car and start the car and let it warm up. That you're just asking for someone to come along and take advantage of that. We had some great opportunities this month. We had the Shop with a Cop, where we took 8 children out and gave them a dinner, and then was able to buy Christmas presents for them. As we talked about the last meeting, we received the Governor's Award for the Crime Prevention Initiative that Sergeant Sims actually innovated, the knock and talk. And as the mayor talked about on December 21st, myself, Sergeant Milton Berger from Cottage City, Sergeant Sims, the mayor, and a various group of stakeholders from teachers, social workers, community activists, social service people, law enforcement officers from Bladensburg, PG County, Maryland Park. It was really a consortium just to get together and kind of do some information sharing. But I think if something, and we are going to have a lot of follow-up meetings about it, because they're actually doing surveys of the children. And it's amazing the information that they're garnering from the children about their perception about gangs. And we're talking about children that are in the 3rd grade. Now, there is no gang activity in the school. However, if I came out of there with one thing, I'd really emphasize to the parents: talk to your children. Talk to them about this. It's amazing how well-versed they are, and how even at the young age of 4th and 5th graders, we know that MS-13 actively recruits those children. So I was very impressed with the work with the representatives from the political arena that were there, and we're going to do a lot of follow-up with the principal and the stakeholders from Rogers Heights. In the town here, again, we didn't experience any real crime issues of any significance other than those 2 theft from autos. However, we did see a significant uptick in what we would call check on the welfare of folks, and a lot of the times it was folks that were out in the weather, and a lot of them weren't in need. But the good point of that is that the people are calling in the community when they see someone. If they think that person may be in need, or if they see them sitting on the side of the road, they're calling, and that's a great thing. So we really encourage you to do that. You call that 301-352-1200 number unless it's an emergency, and they'll dispatch either the Colmar Manor Police or the Cottage City, and if they're not available, then the Prince George's County Police. We are seeing an increase in the number of motor vehicle accidents on Bladensburg Road. We had 4 this month. One of them was a pedestrian struck. Fortunately, the young lady didn't sustain significant injuries. But with the improvements that have been occurring on Bladensburg Road, the paving, we're starting to see an increase in a little bit of the speed. So we ask our folks again to cross Bladensburg Road only at the crosswalks with the traffic control devices, and try not to go across the median strips there. A couple of things to bring you up to speed on the police applicants. Again, we have 2 open positions here. We're very encouraged. We interviewed 12 folks about a month ago, and then yesterday we had 6 new people apply. So we've interviewed 18 applicants. I'm working with both of the sergeants right now from Colmar Manor and from Cottage City to identify those, and we'll bring those recommendations to the mayor and the council here on Colmar Manor. But very, very enthusiastic about the quality of personnel that we're getting. And it's a tough environment right now because we're competing against all the other police departments. Everybody's trying to hire folks. But I'm really, really encouraged with that. We've only had 2 persons apply for the code enforcement. I'm actually interviewing one of those gentlemen on Thursday, Thursday the 11th, and he has a background in code enforcement. So hopefully that'll be somebody that I'll be able to bring to the mayor and the council. One of the last things is I talked a couple times about GPS devices in our police cars. I finally got delivery of those yesterday. We're going to install those in a car. So what does that mean to the public? Well, a couple of things. is that one of the major complaints any police chief hears is they don't see the police cars enough. So with these GPS devices, I will be able to track where that cruiser has went over the last 24 hours, and I'll keep that data for about 30 days. So I'll be able to see if the officers are patrolling, number one, where they're supposed to be patrolling. I'll be able to see their exact location on times, but it gives me the mileage, the miles per gallon, gives me the idle time, the maintenance schedule. It also has a speed alert in it. If the officer's cruiser goes over a certain speed, I get a text message right away. So there are certain times when it's warranted for the officers to be over the speed limit. However, as the chief, I have to kind of monitor those things, because in 2017, we had 125 police officers killed in the line of duty. 35 of those officers were killed in auto crashes, speed-related auto crashes. Almost as many that were shot. So that was about a 46. So it's something chiefs are very, very cognizant of, and it's a no cost to us. It doesn't cost us anything. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. The last thing is Councilmember Jackson talked about domestic violence and domestic awareness. I'd like to give you 2 phone numbers again. We gave it out at the last meeting, but there's 2 phone numbers that you can call if you are the victim of a domestic violence. The first one in Prince George's County, it's the Family Crisis Center. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 301-731-1203. 301-731-1203. That's in Prince George's County. Or you can either call 800-MD, like Maryland Helps. 800 Maryland Helps. And that's the Maryland Network Against Domestic Violence. They have social workers on staff. There is no reason at all for anyone to be a victim of domestic violence and to not report it. There are so many folks out there wanting to help you, and there's no stigma attached to it. You are the victim. You have done nothing wrong. So I just kind of conclude with that. Just want to thank the folks in our community for the support they're giving us. Folks like Ms. Epps, who are just great community activists and who just love this community. And so I really thank you for the time. But keep up the good work. You're doing a good job keeping eyes and ears open for us. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Thank you so much. Is there a motion to accept the police report?
I'll make that motion to accept the police report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? I got a couple questions for you, Chief. So, on the assault
Yes, ma'am.
here, was that domestic?
Yes, what the mayor's referring to is we put together a consortium of the police department calls for service. And the way that we segregate those calls is how the call came out. It doesn't necessarily mean that call was verified. But the question from the mayor was the 2 assaults. One was a domestic violence, which was, again, the young lady reported it to us. We immediately hooked up her with someone from social services, and we followed that case. The other one was a gentleman who was intoxicated, became involved in a fight with other gentlemen that were intoxicated. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and this attempted suicide?
Yeah, the attempt suicide that the mayor talked about, that's how the call came out. It was actually a gentleman who was an employee of one of our businesses. The call came out as an attempted suicide, but actually the gentleman had overdosed inside. He was a employee, went in the bathroom and overdosed on, when I say overdosed on heroin, used heroin. Fortunately, the employees called, they called us. They thought he was trying to commit suicide. That's a mental illness. It's a disease. We were able to get there, get the EMS in time, and the gentleman he received the treatment that he needed.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm happy that they called.
Yes, ma'am.
So we got some help there. Was this? We got one here. Sound of shots.
Yeah, the sound of shots that the mayor talked about. That actually wasn't on New Year's Eve. I worked New Year's Eve. We had no calls in the town. Not one call for sound of shots. A lot of the other municipalities did. That turned out to be a fireworks a call for service. And we actually located the juvenile, talked to his parents. And so I think the parents are going to take care of it more than the police department could. But that's how those calls come out. People hear that, they're not sure, so we get a sound of shots call. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm curious about the property alarms. It's a lot for 1 month. Was it the same?
Yeah, good question by the mayor about property alarms and what causes that. First of all, when we have severe winds like this, if folks don't shut their exterior doors to their residences, we responded to 4 in one day when we had such high winds here recently in this month, but also in December. So really ask you when you're securing your house, make sure that door is shut, because that's exactly what they were. There were no break-ins, there were no attempts, but they were all residences where folks just hadn't secured their doors or their windows, either one.
Okay. So 2 areas here that really, well, first of all, I want to understand, what does unknown trouble mean?
Yeah, good question from the mayor. An unknown trouble, that's exactly what it is. The dispatcher calls, someone calls in, the dispatcher cannot ascertain exactly what the person is saying over the phone, or sometimes it's a 911 hang-up, and they'll put it out. So it's one of the most dangerous calls a police officer can go on, because we have no idea what we're pulling up to. Most of the time, it's, thank you, it's children that have picked up the phone and have set it back down or have dialed 911. So, but yes, ma'am, those calls, we have no idea what they are, and that's how they're dispatched to us.
Okay. Do you have any recollection of what they turned out to be?
Yes, as a matter of fact, because I ran on 3 of them. 3 of them were children picking up the phone, dialing 911 and putting it down. So the dispatcher calls back, nobody answers. So now we don't know. And sometimes they'll give it to us as a 911 disconnect. You'll see that over here also. So again, it's good to teach the children about 911, but the parents also have to explain, that's only in the case of an emergency. The other unknown trouble was actually a gentleman who was walking down the middle of the street. The folks didn't know what to do. They just called and said, we don't have an idea what it is, and they hung the phone up. The dispatcher tried to call back. What happened is the people were outside actually trying to help the gentleman. And it was a gentleman who was a little bit intoxicated. We found out where he lived and took him home.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So the 2 items here that I'm most concerned about, 4 hit and runs?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and the hit and runs were all in the shopping center, in the Colmar Manor shopping center, especially over near Shoppers Food Warehouse.
So,
the parking spaces are really tight, and so when people pull in, matter of fact, all of these were right there at the Shoppers Food Warehouse. People, when they're backing out, they're failing to look out their side mirrors or their side windows, and they're either hitting someone that's coming through, or they're backing up and hitting a car behind them. As a result of that, one of the things that Mr. Lusk did, he's put in 3 speed bumps right in front of the shoppers, and that's slowing. They're high, but it's slowing folks down. So don't go through shoppers fast, because those speed bumps, they're probably 4 inches off of the ground, but it has slowed people down. But yes, ma'am, they were all in the shopping center.
So it was all there. Is that, I mean, is this a norm there, or was this new there?
It's a little bit of an uptick 4 in 1 month, but I think one of the reasons, a couple of it, is because when the weather's cold, people keep their windows up. Sometimes the windows are fogged, or a lot of times, because they've been in the snow, their windows are dirty and they're covered. And they're not taking the time. You'll see cops, if it's a good police officer, they've always got their window down. No matter what the temperature is, they always has their window down. And the reason we encourage people to do that, especially when you're backing up, you can hear another car. So yes, ma'am. Yeah. But it's very unusual to get 4 in 1 month there. But they were all right in the same
we have a lot of
location.
seniors that use that. They use our shoppers that ride the bus. So that
Yes, ma'am.
And then you cold, you running, but
Yeah.
So now I know why the speed bumps today. I was like, who put these there?
Yes, ma'am. They were recently put in there. It'll slow the cars down, but people still have to pay attention, especially when they're backing out.
Well, I have spoken to Mr. Lust about getting some smaller ones, or doing some rumble strips, or
the rumble humps may work a little bit
little rumble
better.
humps,
Yes, ma'am.
across, because you can put the rumble humps through the whole piece there and slow you down the whole thing instead of because that's hurtful.
And what people are doing, a lot of the folks they're using as a cut through, the Shoppers Food, especially from the CVS over to where the IHOP is, that stretch there. Folks are cutting around so they don't have to sit at the traffic light at 38th Avenue. So that's why we sit up there a lot, trying to keep the people, not only keep their speed down, but hopefully seeing a uniform car sitting up there.
So, okay, I said one more, but I have two.
That's okay.
Vandalism, where was that at?
Yes, the vandalism was a domestic-related vandalism. Young lady keyed a gentleman's car. The gentleman didn't want to press charges, but we went ahead and wrote the vandalism on it anyway. So it was a domestic-related.
Okay, all right. So the number one here that's most concerning is this disorderly.
Where, ma'am?
Disorderly.
Yeah, and so,
Well-
and again, these calls, the way that they're put in here is the way that they're dispatched. A disorderly, a lot of times, can be nothing more than someone sitting in a car playing their music loud. A disorderly can sometimes, a lot of the times, it's a person that's sitting in, especially when it's cold like this. We get folks sitting inside of businesses, and they're only in there because of the warmth. So the business establishment will call and say the person is being, quote, disorderly. That's how it's dispatched. So, sometimes the way that these calls, that we list them, it's a little bit, it's kind of difficult to understand, but this is how they're dispatched, this is how they're coded under the Uniform Crime Response. So, yes, ma'am, but most of those are just people, especially during the last month, who've been seeking warmth inside of businesses.
Oh.
Most of them. But it's not loud parties. We very rarely get that. We don't have folks congregating, causing issues. Don't have that problem. But that's what most of them are. It's just people that are inside businesses, and we get a call for a disorderly. The officer has to go there and ascertain exactly what the issue is.
Okay, so I want to thank you for this report format. This is so much easier to read than what we had
Yes, ma'am.
previously. I want to ask you though, because it is disorderly, it makes it look like, because all I think of when I think of disorderly is somebody running
a fight.
around,
Right.
fighting, or acting out or
Sure.
something like that.
Sure.
And to provide the correct perception, is there a way that you can just keep yourself a separate little log of what the results are?
Oh, sure.
For these
Oh, yes, ma'am.
disorderlies?
Yeah,
So
they were.
that way we can ask, and then you'll be able to say, well, this one was that, this was that, this
Absolutely.
was that. 'Cause
Absolutely.
It looks like
especially one that jumps up like that when you see that number 12.
I know, right? It was like, oh
That's
my
very-
God, we have a whole bunch of people running around town just acting out.
No,
you
no,
know?
no. It's nothing that's rampant
It's
throughout
way
the town,
yeah,
none
the
whatsoever.
appearance of what we're looking at on the
Yeah,
sheet of
yes,
paper.
ma'am. I understand. It's a
And
good
it-
point.
I just wanted to ask, so normally on the other sheets, when you had the old one, there was a assist. There was a line item for number of assists, like so if we go over to Cottage City or one of our other towns, we have MOUs.
Yeah, I'm going to incorporate that in this next report. In December, we had 7 assists with Cottage City, and we had 6 occasions when Prince George's County Police had to come into Colmar Manor because there was no Cottage City or Colmar Manor officer.
Okay.
So I'll put those on the next report then.
All right.
Good point.
Okay, all right, well, thank you so much.
ma'am.
I'll call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2, absent. Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4,
Aye.
the mayor votes aye. So I'll let the record reflect that the chief police report has been accepted. Thank you so much,
Thank you, ma'am.
Chief. We currently have no unfinished business. New business, we had planned to have council retreat on the 11th, and we've had some conflicts in time, and so we wanted to go ahead and reschedule that retreat if we can. Anybody have any suggestions on a date? I believe my flexibility is, I know that you guys have certain requirements.
Are we trying to do it this month?
Preferably.
You trying to stay within this month?
Yeah, we can. I have the mayor's conference in the beginning of February. I don't know what the dates are right now, but
Can we, you want to do
Okay.
that last week of January? It's like 29, 30, 31? No,
I can't do it Monday.
don't do Monday.
How is the 18th? 18th good for you all? That's a Thursday.
The 18th, nobody wants to do it in the evening, right? It's not good.
So is this something we still doing during the day, or can we do it in the evening, or I just need to know, I guess with my
if we
schedule,
could get it scheduled
I
to
really
s-
need to look at my schedule at work to see if I have any closings scheduled, or I can really
Yeah, because I
off,
mean, what
so-
we had originally scheduled for was like a lunchtime.
It was a lunchtime, right, and I was
Right,
gonna,
so if you, well, I mean, we can wait, I mean, we can get a
I'll try-
couple of
If you
dates.
don't have a date, and I'll just work around it. I'll just let, because,
So the 19th is,
Friday.
that's a Friday,
would that work for you?
next Friday. Not this Friday coming up, but the one next
Next
week.
Friday?
What
Okay.
time?
It would be, I think we had 12 to 3 or 12, no, 12 to 4, something like that. It was like 4 hours.
Okay. I'll put,
Okay, we'll do that.
can you do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that.
Okay.
Let me just put this on here now.
That works for me so far.
We gotta check with
Friday the 19th?
Cynthia though.
Okay, how do I save this?
Oh, no, I can't do it then.
Oh, you can't do the 19th?
I have the grandkids, they're going out of town for birthday.
Or that 26th?
Okay.
That's that next Friday, the 26th?
That's gonna be hard, that is.
No?
Next one is okay, the 26th is okay.
Or
I can't.
25th?
26, huh?
Thursday?
I can't do that 25th or 26th.
Okay.
Those 2 days are already,
24?
I don't know when the mayor's conference, I mean, not, the Maryland Mayor's Conference starts, but usually it's the first week in,
Because it's the end of the month.
how about
Yeah.
how about the 30th?
The 30th?
It's a Tuesday.
okay, let's try the 30th.
I can't do 30, when the
It's
kids.
the busy.
Well, can we do it on a Saturday, on the 20th, in the
On a
evening?
Saturday?
Is that,
I can't do the.
oh, you can't do that,
Yeah.
it's girls, yeah, can't do Saturdays. Well, man, we might
No,
have to.
I mean, but I can do that,
What about,
the 27th Saturday I can do.
It's good with me.
That's good for you? 27th Saturday?
Saturday the
Okay,
27th?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good with me. I lost my calendar.
Okay, 12 to 4.
Yeah, I am putting it in.
Okay. I don't know how it ends.
Teresa like,
You
what?
need to email Cynthia and let Cynthia know.
Take this.
Right,
Okay.
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 How do I add this?
Okay, so 127.
Is it in there? I don't see save. I'm missing something here. Okay,
Number 10.
okay, and we'll move on to
Committee
committee reports.
Committee reports.
Do we have no senior report? We can just say that we had a really lovely holiday luncheon for the seniors, and our council members, our delegates, Fennell and Carlo were here, as well as our Senator Ramirez, and Jolene Ivy, former delegate and candidate for District 5 council seat. So I want to thank everybody. It was a lovely time, and the seniors truly enjoyed themselves. And we got some wonderful little gift holders from the American Legion, which came in really nicely, and we were able to give out, some gloves and socks and things like that to the seniors as well. Moving on, Garden Club, we have Doretha Epps. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, Council,
evening.
Chief. Thank you so much for the compliment. February the 17th, which is our the third Saturday of February, we're having a diabetic awareness class. Dr. Ali Span will be coming out to teach that class. She did such a great job, and I don't think the last time we did it, we didn't advertise very well, so we pushed it again for February, because we did it before the holidays, we're doing it after the holidays, which I think is warrant for everyone, you know, so they could know their numbers and know what to look for. She's such a great teacher. It was a very interesting class. I really enjoyed it. We have a clean up and replace plot coming up in April, and I need to check to see what we have for the our budget for that cleanup.
Okay.
And we're doing a fundraiser in April at the community forklift. We're going to try to sell tomato plants like we did last year. We did very well with that. And we're going to be assigning out plots for February. We're going to sign plots out in February, so people can get started, you know, getting ready to agitate the soil and everything. This year we're going to use the unused plot. We're going to plant
Vegetables.
is it vegetables like cucumbers
Uh-huh.
and tomatoes, just extra for anyone in town to just come out and pick. But we're going to put on there on the plot which one for them to go to. And we're going to do pumpkins this year so the kids can go, so we can have a pumpkin patch for the kids to go out to this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank our Public Works, Mike and Jerome, so much. They really helped us out in putting those chips in the garden. That, oh my gosh, we had 2 huge piles that I thank Pepco for donating to us. That's something that we don't have to worry about buying this year because it was already donated through Pepco. And we had the guys to get the community service help to come out. Public Works. They got the community service help, to come out and help with the laying down the chip. I did one side myself. Wasn't that great? You know, it was very light, but it took me 3 hours. It was the day after Thanksgiving. I'm just trying to burn off some of that turkey I ate. So Charles Collins and we went out and did the right side, and Public Works came back and did the left side, and then they did everything all over again. Nice. So which it looks so nice now. So hopefully we won't have that much grass to cut this year. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think, I want to say that. Thank Julianne Buffet, our master garden. She did a eggnog in the garden. We had a nice turnout. I think we had 10 people, 12 people?
Yeah, it was about 10 or 12.
Yeah, it was very nice conversation. We outside our box. We wasn't in the garden. We were supposed to be outside, but it was cold.
It was cold.
It was cold. So, but we enjoyed each other. Matter of fact, I think
It was snowing.
the conversation was so great. We stayed longer than we wanted to. So yeah, but I thank her so much for hosting that. It was a great event, a nice turnout. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it. Did I leave anything out?
No, but you said the cleanup is in April. Is that going to be with Reverend Addison Group?
Yes, I have to get in touch with Reverend Addison, so she could, pretty sure, we talked about it. I think she may have us on our calendar already, but I have to get in touch with her to do that. Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, just thank you for being the president of Garden Club and keeping us going.
Yes,
Great working with
indeed.
you.
Yes. Since I'm up here, I want to do my own community, my community, what is it?
Port Town CDC?
The Port Town CDC?
No.
No.
Right hand, left hand.
Right. I want to thank, I'm telling you, the chief was talking about.
You want to do your residents' comment, citizen comment.
The chief talked about my activists here. I'm telling you, this town, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love this town. I love the mayor council. The police department. You donated hats, scarves, and the gloves and coats. It was a great event, great turnout. The town donated funds so that people can eat. We had people from Cardi City to come out to help serve. They were so excited she wanted to donate there, and I said, no, we can't take the donation right there. But we had at least, I want to say, 30 people here that we fed, and then we took trays and gave them out. So in all, I think we did 92. We fed 92 people that day. And I wanted to say thank you guys so much. I think the District 47, they also donated the NFL, the Delegate Fennell. You know, I want to say something because she's my sister, but I have to refrain. But anyway, I want to thank her so much for donating. The council, the mayor, all of you guys, thank you so much. I couldn't have done this without you guys. I thank you so much for doing this. My daughter's in Greece, and we try to talk every so often, and she was very excited because we was filming it, showing her the turnout. She was very excited about it. So again, I want to thank you guys. Oh, I have one more thing. On Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day, her organization, and we're asking for more donation, but this time it's for sanitary napkins. We went to Windward and we went to Roger Heights. The girls, we're finding that they don't give out sanitary napkins in the morning. Most of the girls, they're young and they start off there. And if you have more than one girl in your family, they're very expensive. So we're trying to get people to donate, and we're going to take them up to the schools so they give it to the nurses so the nurses can hand them out whenever the girl needs, or just give them extra if they need it. So I found that's very important right now, that we definitely need to try to help the young ladies out, for their journey in life. Okay.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. And I want to just thank you so much for the event, and also you missed somebody pretty important that was right there hand in hand with you. And it also just warms my heart as the Prince George's County people, and particularly down this way, that come together and work together to help out. And that would be Dr. Harrison from Brentwood, Councilmember Harrison from Brentwood.
And Dr. Betty came. Dr. Betty came out. Exactly.
And Commissioner Butler.
And Commissioner Butler,
And
right.
Commissioner Butler. I mean,
Yeah.
this turnout was really great. We have so many people to come out and
Yeah.
support us in this event. And I was going to tell you, because you missed it, this is the annual event. You didn't have that on your calendar.
Oh, I didn't have it on this
You didn't have
calendar
that on your
here.
calendar.
Okay.
And I had some guys tell us that if they got to walk next year, they coming. So they really enjoyed it. It was very impressive, especially with the table we set up for them so they can go shopping.
Yes.
And because they had a Christmas bag that Miss Yolanda donated, they felt that it was a gift.
Oh,
and they
right,
left
yeah,
out. They was very excited.
yeah.
So when we went back to the shelter, they was all running out because they saw them with these gift bags, They was very excited about it. We had a few of them on there that we gave out to them. But yeah, that was a hit. That was
That
a
was
hit.
a hit. That's
Yes.
right. Next year, I want to make sure we get that football game on.
Okay, yeah, because they
my crew.
and they gonna hold you to that too. Cause they was talking about that. Yeah,
That's right.
Anyway,
Yeah,
they said you promised me. I said no, I didn't. I just mentioned it. So thank you guys so much. I really love this town. I really love working hard like I do for this town. Thank you.
Thank you so
I want to
much.
piggyback
Oh.
on one of the things also. The gentlemen that were here, they felt they were very humble and very appreciative, and some of them had been working for years and just really been on hard terms, or just made a wrong turn and was trying to get their life back, but they were so grateful that we treated them like it was their day, and they was very humble.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
They felt very special that day that
Yeah.
we took the time out. We could have been with our family or, to Bahamas somewhere too, but
Yeah.
we decided to, serve them and make them feel special that day. And they really felt very humble. Yeah, so thank you, Ms. Jackson. Yes.
I felt like that too. I felt like they
felt
felt
that
like they
way,
were
too.
at home.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated. Okay, so the next committee report would be the Green Team. Councilmember Jackson.
The Green Team meeting was canceled yesterday. Actually, we were going to have a meeting in Bladensburg, but it was canceled due to the weather. Our next meeting is February the 12th, here at 7 p.m. We're still looking for more volunteers for the Green Team. Thank you.
And I mentioned that the meeting that we were going to have yesterday at the Waterfront Park was related to
The environment.
some environmental programs was it environmental justice programs?
Environmental justice, correct.
Yeah, so I'm still looking forward to that being rescheduled so we can look at, oh, they have the toolkit. That's what it was. That some folks from University of Maryland, I believe it is, they created a toolkit that you can start to examine certain things happening in your community to see whether or not some injustice from a systematic point is impacting our direct community. So I do look forward to us being able to do that again. Thank you, Councilmember Jackson. Is there a recreation report? Let me think.
Just at Black History, February the 17th. I'm not sure the time, but.
February 17th was what? For the Black History? Oh, yeah. Well, that's on here. From 3 to 6. Yes, from 3 to 6. And we are doing it this year with Cottage City again.
Wonderful.
So that should be really, really nice. And we also, and I just want to remind everybody again, there's a lonely track downstairs that would love to have some company.
I'll be there soon.
Yes, January, and we know what you want to be wanting to do in January is, you know, you got those New Year resolutions. Come on out and enjoy that track, and the exercise room. You know, Bally's and whomever else out there, they charge, what, like $100 a month in order for you to have a membership? And you live here in the town of Colmar Manor, and it's right here for you to free. Come on out anytime between 9 and 8 o'clock and start getting started. Well, I'd love to see that happen. Any report for PGCMA? Oh, wow, they still got Councilmember Jackson on here. Councilmember Mendoza?
Yes, PGCMA will be meeting on Thursday, January the 18th in the fine city of Tacoma Park at 7 p.m. So all are welcome to attend.
Okay, that's our
PGCMA is meeting in Tacoma Park?
Yeah, that's our chapter
Yeah.
meeting. We usually have a chapter meeting where we meet.
Oh, is it with Montgomery County? Oh, okay, it's a
Yes.
Montgomery County,
Right,
Prince
yeah.
George's County
Yeah.
meeting? Okay, good, good.
Yeah, it used to be really nice too. It's really nice.
Okay, is there any specifics that PGCMA is doing that, or looking forward to doing right now in terms of mission-driven items?
Just concentrating on the legislation right now. 'Cause now they're going in tomorrow, right? To Annapolis.
Yeah. I know we're
So
having.
HURs. It's a
I
big
know,
thing.
yeah. They're also having a forum, if I'm not mistaken, and at the University of Maryland for the elected officials or the people who's running for governor. Is it governor or
I think county exec.
county exec? I'm sorry. They're going to have a forum coming up.
Right,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So I think that's coming up in May. I'm not sure, but just.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Well, the election is in June.
Well,
Mm,
yeah. So it's coming up in May. I think.
okay.
Might
All
be
right,
March,
okay.
but May is on the brain for some reason.
I know, right? Didn't that Port Town CDC, wasn't the annual meeting, was it last month or was that in November?
Yeah, we talked about it. It was November.
It was November, so
yeah,
we
had
okay.
we have 5 residents now.
That's right,
yeah, we
5
talked
Colmar
about
Manor
it.
residents,
yeah.
oh, 6
6. Oh, we
Colmar
keep
Manor
forgetting about
residents,
you.
Port Town CDC. So that's very exciting. I'm looking forward to all of the new things that will happen over the next year or so from the Port Town CDC. And I add this back onto the agenda and ask for a report on that. Would you be able, or? To report on? Port Town CDC activities, okay. Okay. I want to thank everybody for your patience. As was mentioned before, whenever there's a holiday, our trash pickup is on Monday. And so we're going to hit the holidays because most holidays fall on Monday. It just so happened that Christmas and New Year's fell on Monday, which is not always common. But after the Christmas Monday, Bates had suffered some trucks had broken down. And with the double up on the Tuesday, We didn't get picked up for a while. And then that laid into the Friday when a lot of our recycling didn't get picked up. And I just really want to thank the community for having some understanding that these things happen. Things can't always be perfect. I think that they really did a good job of trying to catch up. But, you know, sometimes when you go to the airport and there's ice on the ground, your flight might be canceled. And so you'd rather a canceled flight than an airplane in the air in inclement weather, right?
Correct.
So I thank you guys for, I feel like there was a decent amount of patience in that situation, and I appreciate that. I want to say that to the residents. So with that said, is there any additional items that we have for the
No,
order of
just-
business?
no.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, this meeting is adjourned. Woo.